Hello, I'm Peter Hussey, and this is an introduction to verbatim theatre. Verbatim theatre is a form of making performance material from the real words of ordinary people who are not actors. So we might gather this material from interviews, for example, or we might look at court records or documents, or newspaper articles or diary entries. There are a lot of ways in which material is recorded. This activity helps people understand some of the ethical considerations concerned with making such material and performing such theatre. It also looks at the emotional consequences of making theatre from the words of real people. And it is a sort of introduction to how you might go about this process. The first stage is very simple. We ask the group to divide into two equal groups, one facing the other in two rows. One row turns around so they cannot see the other. The row that has not turned around changes something small about their appearance. The others turn around and see if they can spot what the difference is. And then we swap over so that each group gets a chance to do this. Having done this exercise, we move on to the second stage, where each person is paired off with somebody else. One is A and the other is B. We ask all the A's to walk around the room as they would walk normally. All of the B's are encouraged to watch the A's walking and in time to insert themselves into the space and walk behind. Through a series of instructions from the facilitator, all of the B's begin to imitate the walk of A and then to exaggerate two different elements of that walk. It's very important that they exaggerate what's in front of them rather than make up some new gesture or movement that doesn't actually exist in the walk of A. When they have finished, we move the A's to the side and we look at the new people walking around, the B's, walking in their exaggerated way. Sometimes the A's feel self-conscious and say things like, "This is not the way I walk," and that's true, it's not. It is a new walk or a new character that B has made based on information that is found in A's walk, but slightly exaggerated. It is something new, created by the one taking the information. In the third section of making verbatim theatre, we continue the same pairings. We ask A to think of a story that they have told before about themselves, perhaps a funny story or something that caused them embarrassment. And we ask B to be a recorder, somebody who sits, watches, and listens to A's story. We set this up very precisely using two chairs in the space. B sits down and waits for A to arrive. A sits in the chair and begins their story. B is not permitted to talk or interact or to ask questions. They simply watch and listen. They are to take note of all of the physical gestures that B makes, all of the characteristics, the type of things that they say, and as much of the story as they can remember. When the story is finished, B moves away and A stays and practices for a moment what they have just heard. Then all of the performers come and turn to the audience and perform the story as if they were the person giving it. After this exercise has been swapped over and the other gets a chance to do the same, we have a discussion. When we come to reflecting on the experiences we've just had, there are a number of very important questions to ask. For example, what is it like for you telling your story to somebody in a private, intimate space where it is just you and them, and then you see your story being performed in a wide and public space? Do you regret saying certain things? Are there things you would like to change? Is it different now when you hear your story performed back in this way? We also ask questions of the people performing. How much responsibility do you feel you have when you're performing your story to the person who gave it to you, when they're there watching you? Do you feel like you have to honour that story, be very truthful? Is this a pressure? And there are many other issues that can come up in the discussion, all of which have to do with the ethics and the issues and the considerations that are involved in making verbatim theatre. To sum up, perform the activity where one group tries to spot a change made on the other group. In the same pairs, one pair imitates and then exaggerates the walk of their partner, and then they swap. The same partners work together, where one tells a story that they've already told before in public to the other one, and the person listening takes the story and makes it a performance for the rest of the group. After each stage, there is a reflection, where key questions evaluating the ethics and the emotion and the feeling of the activity are assessed. For more information on this and other activities, visit www.dramaforyouthwork.eu. The link is in the description.